Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going to completely shift how you look at your career growth. Forget that generic advice about grinding out longer hours, staying late, or, spamming your resume to 100 different job boards. We're not doing that. Instead, we're diving straight into the exact decision-making engines used by the top 1% of leaders. I'm talking about elite mental models pulled right from super investors, military strategists, and cognitive scientists. And the absolute best part? You can use these today to hit the gas on your own trajectory and smash right through whatever plateau you might be stuck on right now.
So, here's our blueprint. 1. The decision engine. 2. The strategist's mind. 3. Career accelerators. And 4. The decision audit. Let's get right into it.
Starting off with Section 1, the decision engine, frameworks from the top 1%.
To break through those career plateaus, we first have to realize something absolutely crucial. Elite leaders, they don't just work harder than the rest of us, they use very distinct engines to categorize their choices before they ever make a move. Take Jeff Bezos, for example. He has this famous framework where he forces you to classify decisions by their reversibility. It's so clarifying. He basically puts choices into two buckets. Type 1 decisions, those are one-way doors, irreversible. Think of a heavy, locked steel door. Because you can't easily go back once you step through, these decisions are slow, they need deep analysis, and you usually need a lot of consensus. But then you have Type 2 decisions. These are two-way doors. They are completely reversible. It's like a swinging saloon door. If you walk in and don't like the vibe, you just walk right back out. So Type 2 decisions, those demand speed, a heavy bias for action, and rapid iteration.
Let's put this in context. Changing entire industries or, say, moving across the country for a job? That's a Type 1 decision. It's slow and deliberate. But learning a new skill? Launching a little side hustle, or just testing out a new piece of AI software? That is firmly a Type 2 decision. Fast. It's literally just an experiment. But here's the huge takeaway. Most professionals totally paralyze themselves because they treat a highly reversible Type 2 experiment as if it were some permanent, life-altering Type 1 industry pivot. We've got to stop treating two-way doors like they automatically lock behind us.
Since you can actually reverse most of your daily choices, your focus really needs to shift when it comes to the big ones. Decision quality vastly outweighs quantity. Warren Buffett, the super investor himself, visualizes this perfectly. He says, imagine you have a punch card for your entire life, but it only has 20 slots. Every major life decision uses up exactly one slot. Think about it. If you knew you only had 20 physical punches for your whole career, you'd think incredibly carefully before stamping that card, wouldn't you?
So, to protect those precious 20 slots in your own career, we need an actionable sequence. Step 1, actively identify what your slots even are. We're talking major role changes, picking a co-founder, massive multi-year skill investments, those foundational relationships. Step 2, prioritize quality. 5 exceptional compounding career decisions will always beat 20 mediocre impulsive ones. And step 3, only punch a slot when it's deeply within your circle of competence. The stuff where you genuinely have an undeniable edge.
You can actually pair that punch card mindset with Ray Dalio's principles. Dalio is huge on creating a repeatable, principles-based algorithm for your decisions. Now, what does that mean for you and me? Well, instead of just going with your gut every time a project offer pops up, you build a predefined checklist. Ask yourself, does this align with my 5-year goal? Does it put me in front of high-level execs? If it doesn't hit your core principles, boom, it's an automatic no. You are basically systemizing your success so you never have to start from scratch when a dilemma pops up. Apply this to your biggest career choice this week.
Moving on to Section 2, the strategist's mind, focusing on mental models.
All right, having looked at how to make decisions, let's talk about how to evaluate them. We usually sit there asking, how do I succeed, right? But Charlie Munger's mental model of inversion tells us to completely flip the script. He asks this kind of jarring question to spot hidden traps. How do I guarantee career failure? By looking at the exact opposite of what you want, the real path to success actually becomes crystal clear.
Let's play this out for a second. If you wanted to guarantee absolute obscurity in your career, you do exactly this. Never update your skills, actively hide your network, maintain literally zero visibility at your company, and absolutely never track your results. Honestly, sounds like a foolproof way to disappear into a cubicle forever, right? But here is the magic of inversion. If you actually want to win, just invert those failure modes. The solution is glaringly obvious. Invert to daily learning, weekly outreach, making sure you have visibility, and tracking your wins.
Next up, we have probabilistic thinking from Annie Duke. Since she comes from the high-stakes world of professional poker, she teaches us to ditch that binary, will this work or won't it mindset. Replace it with a probability distribution. When you face a career choice, don't look for one guaranteed outcome. Map it out. Maybe there's a 30% chance of a promotion, a 50% chance of lateral growth, and a 20% chance you'll just need to pivot entirely. This is huge because it gives you emotional resilience. If things don't go perfectly, you aren't devastated. You already knew a pivot was a 20% possibility. You prepare for all the scenarios, but you strategically optimize for that most likely 50% outcome.
To de-risk things even more, we can use Howard Marks' second-order thinking. Most people stop at level 1. What happens next? But elite strategists, they pause and deliberately ask, and then what? 3 levels deep. Say you take a high-stress, high-paying management role. Level 1, you get more money, fancy new title. Great. Level 2, and then what? Well, you stop doing the creative work you actually enjoy and spend all day managing team conflicts. Level 3, and then what? 3 years from now, your core technical skills are totally obsolete and your burnout is through the roof. Asking, and then what? 3 levels deep forces you to see those hidden consequences before you make the leap.
Of course, to fuel all this strategic thinking, you need raw knowledge. And the magic number here is 182. What is that? That's the 182 hours a year you'll gain from just 30 minutes of daily compound learning. Sure, 30 minutes doesn't feel like much on a random Tuesday, but it aggregates into 182 hours of deep focus over a year. Do that for 3 to 5 years, and you build undeniable, massive expertise. It compounds, literally just like financial interest.
All right, Section 3, Career Accelerators, Taking Action.
Let's transition from strategic theory straight into execution, which is absolutely crucial right now in the AI era. Skill stacking and AI literacy are no longer just nice-to-haves. They are the new baseline. So let's look at the 100-10-1 rule for building a hyper-intentional network, starting with 100. You need 100 weak ties. Think LinkedIn connections, that coworker from 3 jobs ago, or just someone you chatted with at a conference. Weak ties are vital because they widen your peripheral vision way outside your immediate echo chamber. These are the folks who will post about a major disruption months before your own team ever catches wind of it.
Next, you narrow that down to 10. 10 strong ties. These are relationships with strong mutual value. Like maybe you swap marketing insights with someone, and in return, they help you nail your presentation skills. Aim for monthly check-ins with these 10 people so you can collaborate, share the insider knowledge, and actively push each other forward. And finally, zero in on one mentor or sponsor. This is someone you do a deep dive with every quarter. And hey, make sure you know the difference here. A mentor gives you great advice, sure, but a sponsor is someone who actually mentions your name in a room full of opportunities when you aren't even there. They actively guide your trajectory.
Now, to support that network, you need a rock-solid personal brand built on 3 critical signals. First, the expertise signal. Are you sharing weekly insights internally or maybe online? Second, the reliability signal. Are you consistently delivering on your commitments without people having to chase you down? And third, the character signal. How do you treat the junior analyst when a high-stakes project blows up and no execs are in the room? Master these 3 signals, and your reputation becomes absolutely bulletproof.
Which brings us to our final section, Section 4, the decision audit, your next move.
It's time to turn the mirror on yourself. Your challenge this week is to take these billionaire frameworks and audit your last 5 major decisions. Seriously, grab some paper or open a doc. Write down the decision. Was it a Type 1 irreversible door or a Type 2 reversible door? What process did you use? What was the outcome? What was the lesson? When you mentally walk through this grid, I promise you're going to instantly spot your own implicit biases. You will see exactly where you used a slow, agonizing process for a simple problem that just needed fast action.
As we wrap up this explainer, I want you to look at that audit and ask yourself one final, incredibly crucial question before you punch the next slot on your career card. Which of your past decisions were completely reversible, 2-way doors, but you paralyzed yourself by treating them as permanent, 1-way doors? Think about how much faster, how much more boldly you could move if you just stopped making that mistake. Take these frameworks, put them to work this week, and watch your career absolutely take off.